In Lesson 10.1, we're going to graph points in 4 quadrants. So we got to talk about what all those different things mean. So first, a coordinate plane is a grid formed by a horizontal number line called the x-axis and a vertical number line called the y-axis. 0, or the big O, indicates the origin. That's an O, where the axes intersect. So this, the vertical, is your y-axis. The horizontal is your x-axis, and this point right in the middle, that's your origin. An ordered pair, x and y, and x always goes first, gives the coordinates the coordinates of the location of a point. Okay, and the x-coordinate is the horizontal location. Of the point. And the y-coordinate then is the vertical location, oops, that's a C, of the point. And the x and y axes divide the coordinate plane into 4 quadrants. And you need to know which one is which. So let's draw a picture. The quadrants, the first quadrant is here, that's a 1. The second quadrant is to the left. The third quadrant is down below. And the fourth quadrant is there. Now, if you look, you start here and you make a big C. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and you do need to use Roman numerals. Can't use the numbers because then it looks like you're trying to name a point on the grid. So we use Roman numerals to help keep it clear that you're naming a quadrant, oops, sorry, and not a point. Let's fix that. Numerals. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now we're going to actually try to name some of this stuff. So pause the video if you need to before scrolling down. Alright, so here we go. Let's take a look at the first example. Name the coordinates of point D in the graph. So here's point D. And these are my options, A, B, C, or D. It's a multiple choice question. So point D, you always want to start at the origin. So I start here at the O, right in the middle. And it's going to be 2 units to the left. 1, 2. You always want to move sideways first. So the x-coordinate, see the little x here? This is my x number line. The x-coordinate to get to point D is -2. So you go 2 to the left. Then to get to point D, oops, stop. I have to go 1, 2 up. So the y-coordinate is a +2. Now when you write your point, you always write the x number, then the y number. So I write -2, 2, which matches with choice B. Okay, so that's how you name a point. You always do x first. X is always first. Okay? All right. Let's move on to the next example. Now we have the coordinates and we have to graph the point for -3. So 4 is my x, -3 is my y. So I go to, here's the x-axis, and here's the y-axis. So I go to 4 On the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can go 4 to the right. Now I'm not going to put a dot here yet. Then I'm going to move 3 units down because it was a negative 3. So from this 4, I go 1, 2, 3. Here is where I draw my dot, and I call it D. Okay, so that's point D, 4, negative 3. Now remember our quadrants. Here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and here's 4. So point D landed in quadrant 4. Okay, one more example, and then we get into the quick checks. Okay, now they want us to draw a rectangle. Draw a rectangle that measures 3 units by 5 units in a coordinate plane. Use 0, 0, that's the origin, as one vertex and label all the vertices. So, step 1, mark 0, 0 as a vertex. So, whoops, put that and put 0, 0. From the origin, count 3 to the right and mark a vertex. So 1, 2, 3. Now to get to this point, I went 3 to the right, and I didn't go up or down any, so the coordinates are 3, 0. Now, from the origin, count 5 units up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Label that. I went 0 right or left, and I went up 5, so the coordinates there are 0, 5. Now, I'm trying to make a rectangle, so if I did this side, up and down, this side straight across, where would my last point have to be? Well, I can kind of imagine if I went across here and down here, you can see that we're making a little rectangle, so the 4th point would have to be right here. I'd have to go 3 to the right and 5 up. And so now I can draw the sides in. Label all your corners and draw your rectangle. Okay, so now in the quick checks, you're going to name the coordinates of A, B, C in the graph of example 1. So if you go back up and look at example 1, here's point A, here's point B, and here's point C. So in quick check number 1, go ahead and name the coordinates of those 3 points and put your answers in the box. Then for quick check 2, graph R, point R, at negative 3, 5 in the grid to the right, and say which quadrant it lands in. And in quick check 3, draw a different rectangle for example 3. You're still going to use 0, 0 as a vertex, and label all corners. So make a rectangle. I guess you can make a I don't know if you have to do 3 and 5. You could probably pick any numbers, but make a rectangle and label all of your corners. And we'll check your work in class.